Hey guys, I've got a unique lesson for you today, or really just a concept that I want you to try, and I want you to apply this to your metal rhythm playing, or at least some of it. What we're going to do is we're going to combine just playing regular chords into our heavy metal riffs. The purpose of this lesson here, okay, the purpose of this concept rather, is just to give your rhythm playing some different characteristics and to kind of help you get out of the rut of playing the same power chord progressions over and over. Nothing wrong with power chords, that's part of rock and heavy metal music, but adding just these chords, regular chords, adding these into your rhythms is really going to help bring out a different, a different life in your rhythm playing. So I think you're going to enjoy this lesson and enjoy learning what we're going to go through here. So I've got two progressions I want to share with you, and hang around to the end of the video because I've got some more points I want to give you in regards to what you're about to learn. Alright, so this first progression that we're playing here, we're keeping things extremely simple, as you can see, for the most part. I am in standard tuning, by the way. Most of you guys already know that. And we're playing in the key of E minor. Now, the heavy metal part of this song is obviously that E power chord. We've got that palm mute, we're doing that on that open E string, and we're just starting it out with just kind of pure classic style heavy metal there. Then we go into just some regular chords, which in this case, we're playing a C and a D. Next time around, I play a G and a D. And again, the C, D, and then the G, D, those are just regular full chords. I'm playing the entire chord on that and just kind of letting that ring out a little bit as well. So you can already hear that combination of the heavy palm muting, that just raw heavy metal. Then we've got something different that you might not expect to hear, or the listener, whoever's listening to you play, may be like, oh wow, I didn't expect that. I didn't see that or hear that coming. That's something different. Now let me show you, or let you hear real quick how it would sound if I just played power chords. And it sounds good, but let's just hear the contrast really quick, okay? That sounds really cool. I mean, it's heavy metal, right? Sounds cool, and it's what a lot of metal songs have. They have those components, just playing the power chord, so nothing wrong with that. But again, we're just changing things up a little bit to get some different textures, give the song some different characteristics, right? So we're playing this instead. Let me play it with the full chords. I think you guys have the gist of that little riff there. Now, let's move on to what I did at the end. When we first started playing this, I did this little riff right here. Again, this is another component of heavy metal, right? We're on that C power chord, but we're doing some choppy riffing with that C power chord. Now I'll break that down for you here, but then we're going to end on just a regular D chord, mixing those two styles together, okay? So let me slow this part down for you. All I'm doing here, real simple, just think of a C power chord, okay? We're on the A and the D string. I'll just call this out for you. And we're on frets 3 and 5, of course, for the power chord. Well, I'm picking another note in there, okay? And on that D string, what I'm doing is going back and forth between the 4th and 5th fret. That's all I'm doing. Real simple. And then I go into that D, that regular D. And I do a little vibrato there as well for that C note. And I just arpeggiate that D there. And again, we're not really learning how to play any particular song, so whether you learn exactly what I'm sharing with you right now doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. Really, I just want you to get the concept of playing some of the heavy metal style, which is mainly the power chords and the palm muting and that sort of thing, and just integrating some of these open chords just to give your riffs and your progressions a little different flavor, if you will, okay? Just a little bit different characteristic and different texture, and it's just kind of breaking away from the norm. Alright, so this second progression that we're doing is pretty much got the same cadence and same style, same two styles that we're combining here. We've got that palm muting on the open, right, that open string. In this case, we're playing that on the A string with the A power chord. Now, we are playing some of the same chords, but there's one chord we're playing this a little bit different, and that's an F, and we'll get to that part. But the F, I'm not playing a regular F. I'm actually playing, you probably noticed I'm playing the bar chord F, and that's because I want that full sound, especially going with something like this riff that we're playing here. So let's break this down real quick. We're just palm muting away on that open A string, okay? And then we're going to a C, then G, and then we do the same thing, right? Going back to that A, then we go to an F, then a G. So just like this. All right, pretty simple, and I do that little riff at the end too. I'll share that with you in a second here. But again, same cadence, right? But the thing about this key here, the reason why we switched keys is because I want you to get used to playing in different keys. I know a lot of you do already, but it's kind of a curse of being a metal guitar player, is we always want to hang on those lowest notes possible, and we end up kind of playing the same thing. Have you ever listened to a metal album or even a rock album where every song's in the exact same key? It starts out with the exact same chord, and you're like, you're on track number 4, and you're like, I think I heard this on track 2. They just all kind of run together. All right, so this kind of helps you break away from that, just playing in a different key, right? So we got the A power chord, we're doing those palm mutes on that, and then we break into those regular chords, the C and the G. Now, let me just show you the little riff I do at the end here. And again, I'm not so concerned that you learn what I'm playing. It's just kind of fitting in those heavy metal elements in with playing the full chords, the regular chords here, okay? So anyway, I'll share the riff here. This is all I'm doing. All on that first string, right? The only frets we're playing here is open, 1, 3, and 5. So just watch my fingers here. You see that little slide that I did? Now, real quick, before we get into the little insight that I'm going to share with you, and I think this is going to be important, I really think this is going to help you break out of that box that us metal guitar players get kind of hung up in so often. I want to let you guys know that if you don't have my free practice guide, Metal Riffs and Licks, grab a copy of that. There's a link in the description of this video. In fact, I just updated the guide. Of course, those of you who are already on my email, you've got a copy of that updated guide already. I emailed that to you a couple of days ago. So grab that if you don't have it already. So here's the thing. What we just went over, extremely simple, okay? We're just playing some simple metal riffs or some palm muting. All we're doing is just throwing in a standard chord, a regular chord. But here's what that does. it gets you out of that little rut of playing the same stuff over and over. And we all get in these ruts. I do it all the time. Okay, well, I've got some power chords, alternate picking or downstrokes, and I'm going to throw in a riff here. And we just kind of get trapped in this tiny little box in our own little world here. Well, doing something as simple as just throwing in a regular chord every now and then is a great way to change things up. And I believe this kind of stuff brings more life to your playing, especially if you're writing your own music, which, guys, I encourage you to do that. I mean, I know it's cool to learn other people's songs and even cool to learn my lessons, which, yeah, I want you to learn what I'm teaching you here, but more importantly, I want you guys to come up with your own stuff. And I don't care if you're in a band or not in a band. I don't care if you're just a bedroom guitarist and it's just something you love to do. It's just a hobby. Maybe you don't ever plan on doing anything with it outside of that. That's fine. I still want you to come up with your own riffs because it just gives you that energy and that drive. I think it's important if you want to expand though, right? So this is just a very simple way to add something else to give your progressions and your music a little bit more character because it's different. We're not used to hearing a C or D or G chord in those riffs. We just don't hear it that often. Sure, there's some rock songs and whatever that have that, but we're just not used to hearing it in metal music. So if you throw something like that in there, it kind of catches the listener by surprise. Like, oh, okay, something sounds different. And it's just one of those things that can separate your music and your playing from everything else that's going on in the majority of metal music. So I just wanted to share this with you. I thought it was kind of a cool concept, you know. And again, it's super easy. I mean, you just playing whatever metal riff or chugging away and then just throw in a regular chord and kind of let that ring out a little bit. It just sounds really cool. So guys, let me know if you have any questions and let me know more so if this video helped you, okay? I know it wasn't a difficult lesson and it wasn't like something that's monumental, but sometimes it's those little simple things that we catch on to and that we just add. Doesn't have to be complex, right? We just add these simple little things that changes the texture of our music and our playing and just kind of gives it a new life. So I do hope you enjoyed this lesson. And guys, as always, thank you for watching my channel. Please give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and all that good stuff. And I'll see you on the next video. Until then, keep it metal.